Hello everyone, welcome to my Facebook Live. Today's topic is chronic pain point number 1, which is emotions. And so today we're going to discuss a little bit about emotions, about how they affect you and the effect that they can have on your physical body when it comes to chronic pain. So for the next couple minutes, we'll just get started with introductions, and while people get a chance to log on, I'll introduce myself. I'm coming to you from 108 Mile Ranch, BC, and it is a beautiful spring day here. The sun is shining, a little bit windy, and I've got my little dog here, Humphrey, in the studio with me in my at-home studio. To talk to you and come to you about chronic pain. So this is my first Facebook Live, so I will be somewhat reading from a little bit of a script just to keep me on track, and I'm hoping over time I can let go of that. So as you guys come on, please do feel free to comment, say hello. I also have the messenger open, so if you want to private message me at any point to discuss your chronic pain symptoms or what's going on for you on a personal level with me, then I've opened that up especially for you so that we can connect one-on-one as well. So go ahead and please do comment. The more you comment, the better. We can really get into some of the nitty-gritty, and then for people who rewatch, they can also maybe have some of their questions answered based on your comments. So I have suffered with chronic pain probably since I was about 17 years old is kind of when it started, and I'll get a little bit more into that a little bit later into this live. And now I am 42, and I finally have gotten to the point where I know how to address my pain. And so I've been able to pretty much fully let go of my chronic pain symptoms. Of course, pain is there as a messenger, but the beauty is that now I know how to listen to that and then address it. I've got all the tools to address each symptom that comes up in a natural and holistic way. So about 17 years old, and the reason that the pain started, I didn't realize at the time, was a lot to do with my emotions, what was happening on an emotional level. My parents had just split up. I'd gone through a divorce at 17 years old, and it was kind of an ugly one. And so at 17, I didn't realize that I was pushing all my emotions down and running from them, and I was actually doing more harm on the physical level. And so then I got into a nice relationship. I had my first love. I was, really happy about that. And then that took a turn for the worst as well, as he ended up cheating on me. And, so that also took an emotional toll. And then suddenly I found myself dislocating my shoulder. I'd always played baseball and loved playing catcher position, and I had dislocated my shoulder, and it just kept happening and happening. And I didn't know why. I thought it was just maybe something wrong with my physical body. But as I've learned over the years is that it is actually a manifestation of my emotions and me not processing them. So we'll get a little bit more into that today during this live. I will also share with you my upcoming web class that I've got available. It'll be on June 7th, and it is a web class where we'll go into a little bit more deeply how I took these 3 steps to truly overcome and conquer my chronic pain. And with the web class, actually, if you are staying for the whole thing, then I do also have a gift for you at the end. And one of the reasons that we end up with issues with our chronic pain is that we don't bring in enough support. And that means support on many levels, not just our physical support, like maybe, bringing in bolsters or pillows while you sleep, essential oils and therapeutic supports, holistic supports can be good. But also supports on an emotional level when it comes to having a community, having like-minded people that you can connect with about what you're going through, It's so, so important. So we'll talk a little bit more about that during the live web class on June 7th as well. So as people are getting settled and kind of coming in, please do again comment in and say who you are, where you're coming from in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll just kind of go through this a couple more times, introducing myself, and then we'll get started into this chronic pain point number 1 live training. So again, I'm Angela. I come to you from BC, Central BC, Canada. I'm in a small town. It's a beautiful sunny day here, spring day. And I have suffered from chronic pain for many, many years, for about, well, I was 17 to 42, so quite a long time. And just in this last couple years, I've finally gotten to a point where I know how to address it. I know what to do. Pain is there as a messenger, and I think that's something that we miss sometimes. And we try to cover it up or avoid it, thinking that, you know, it's not pleasant to have to deal with our pain. It's not something that any of us want to do. I know for myself personally, that's why at 17 years old, I kind of ran from it. And after running for so long, it gets to a point where it starts to manifest in your body as a physical manifestation as dis-ease. And so you're no longer at ease. And that is where chronic pain can set in. And then we're kind of at the mercy of the pharmaceutical system, and whether it's taking meds consistently, which is actually also contributing to more imbalance in the body. So we really have to get down to that root cause of chronic pain. So we'll talk about that a little bit more over the next 10-15 minutes here during this short live training about your emotions and chronic pain. So I'll give you guys a couple more minutes. I do want to reiterate, like, please comment in the comment section. I have a couple links there as well if you're interested in joining the webinar or the masterclass on June 7th. It's a nice live interactive training that we get deep into the root cause and to why we're unable to overcome our chronic pain symptoms in our Western society, and we end up just medicated and all sorts of other issues that contribute to more pain and to kind of this, what I call it, the pain rabbit hole. You're in pain, you want to get out, you start taking pain meds, then you're reliant on the pain meds, you get more depressed, your body's more out of balance, you end up in more pain, and so on and so on. So please do comment, let me know if you're dealing with any chronic pain symptoms currently, and if you feel like you're kind of in a rabbit hole or you're stuck and there's no way you can come out of this chronic pain rabbit hole. I'll take a little drink here as you guys get settled on, and then we'll get started for about the next 15 minutes. We'll go into a little bit of a training on one of the reasons that you are in chronic pain or could be in chronic pain. Like I said, this is my first Facebook Live training, so I do have a little bit of a script to go by. So I do appreciate your patience. I'm grateful for your understanding, and maybe one day I'll get to a point where I can just do this absolutely without a script. So let's get into it. The first point that I want to point out is, again, that there are a couple links there. If you are a person, a woman over 40 who suffers from chronic pain, that's who I specialize in. And there should be a link there for you to join my Facebook group, which is it's called Yoga Therapy for Healthy Aging Women with Chronic Pain. And it's a beautiful community for people to get together and like-minded individuals to support each other, cheer each other on, and I'll have tons of tips, tricks, and information there for you as well. So this topic of how to overcome chronic pain is so dear to me, and it is because I've been through the ringer with chronic pain. I've spent years of struggling, and I've essentially found myself in a place sometimes that was so dark that I actually didn't even know if I would be able to get out alive. I went through depression, deep depression. severe anxiety, and I felt like I tried everything and nothing seemed to work. And you can only do that for so long and continue down that pain rabbit hole before it's like you just feel like you're helpless or hopeless, like there's no hope that I'll ever get better. And so I was in that place and spent years and years of struggling, trying to overcome it, trying to get out of it. I'm a person who really will put in the effort to try to figure something out or to get to the other side. And for whatever reason, it just wasn't happening for me. And I do know the reason now, and that's I wasn't addressing the root cause. And I also wasn't addressing myself as a whole human. I was addressing the physical symptoms and the mental symptoms, but I was not addressing the other layers of my being, which I've learned through yoga therapy. You have to address all of those layers as they work together to truly release the energy, which the negative energy that can be within you, to allow for your pain to release. And so it can be uncomfortable at times. It took me years, and I finally figured out what to do. So now it's my life's purpose to share it with other women who have also gone through or might be suffering like I was. And so my whole intention is to bring to you everything that I learned in years and years of suffering in a nice condensed form. So I've put together a program that is a 6-month program. It's an interactive program where you can work with me through group trainings and pre-recorded videos. And we work with your specific issue to get you to a place within that 6 months of knowing how to heal your body in a whole way. And so to do that, you first want to attend the live web class, which is a masterclass that I teach on June 7th. I do them about once a month. And if you attend that live web class, then we can see if you're a right fit for the program. See if you are in a place where you're ready to overcome your chronic pain. It does take tenacity. It's not easy. It's not a Band-Aid fix. In our Western society, we tend to kind of Band-Aid our issues, and we definitely take more of an Eastern approach from a yoga perspective, which is more of a holistic perspective. And to do that, it does take work. It does take effort and willingness and openness. And so if you feel like you are a right fit for that, then you could join the web class on June 7th, and we can continue to discuss whether this is the right journey for you or not. And what I can tell you as well is that it can be a challenge at first. It's like kind of like I always picture a mountain, and when you're in like the depths of chronic pain or the depths of illness or disease, it feels like you're almost like underneath the ground and there's no way out. It's like you're going to suffocate under there. And all of a sudden you might see like a little glimpse of light that comes through, and you see that there is some light, and then you have to work and work and work to get to maybe just above ground. And then you see that there's a whole mountain that you have to climb to actually get to a point where it becomes easy, and you get to the top of the mountain, you feel amazing. It's like the life you've always dreamed of, everything that you deserve. And it is available to you, but you have to do the work. You have to put in the effort. And the most important part of that process is compassion, is being really compassionate and loving to yourself throughout the process. And so we really focus on that a lot in the program. So I'm going to go into a little bit about emotions and how they work, as they are one of the main layers of our being, is our emotional body. And our emotions are actually energy in motion. And so in our society, for me anyways, growing up, I was never taught to really process my emotions in a healthy way. We're not taught in school, definitely. Often our parents weren't taught, so they don't know how. So how do they teach us? And it's really, really important that we allow that energy and motion to move through us and to release. And so you need to sit with your emotions, you need to feel your emotions, and then you can let them go when they're ready, when it's time. So I have spent, sometimes it might be an hour, sometimes it might be half an hour, sometimes it's day after day of just allowing whatever it is. It could be sadness, I could be sitting with anger, I could be sitting with fear, any of that negativity, but I allow myself now to sit with it, because what I've learned is that running from it manifests disease, manifests pain in my body. And so addressing the emotional layer then also allows you to experience better mental health. They're very intertwined, and your mental and emotional health works together. So if you think about it, if you think a thought, like a negative thought, you might even feel a direct emotion happen in your body. So maybe you've got a fearful thought. For me, I have PTSD. I was mugged at gunpoint and assaulted. And because of that, I now have a lot of fear that can easily come up. And so I can have a thought that just comes into my brain and I instantly feel like a gut-wrenching feeling. And nothing's actually wrong in the moment. I'm sitting in a safe place. I might even be in my bed at night. But it still generates that negative feeling within my body. So that's my sign that it's time to do a little bit of work there, and it's time to release some of those emotions. So with this program, that's the goal, is to set you up into a space where you can safely, comfortably, and maybe even find some pleasure in the process of really turning towards yourself, treating yourself with compassion and love, giving yourself space and time to process what you need to process. So again, if you want to jump onto the link, I've got the link available there for you. You can sign up for the free web class. So it's about a 60-minute, it might go a little bit over, it depends on how interactive it is, web class that I've got available on June 7th at noon Pacific time. And we will go into more detail on the program. We'll go into more detail on the root cause of chronic pain and the steps that you need to take to truly conquer it, to truly get over it. And with that web class as well, there is going to be a free bonus gift at the end. So if you stay all the way to the end, I'll have a free bonus gift, which is a free essential oil sample, as well as a top 10 essential oils document for chronic pain. So we'll go into some education and tips and tricks around what to use to address your chronic pain, to bring in that support. So please, again, go into the comments with any questions you might have. So we've talked a little bit about my backstory, my journey, and like I said, I've got my messenger open if you would like to maybe talk to me about your journey, about your backstory of some of the trauma that might have caused you to hold chronic pain in your body, because it doesn't just come from being born. You don't just have chronic pain when you're born. It is manifested over time, and so often we don't realize that it is because of trauma that we haven't processed it out, and then that's actually why we stay in pain. So please do reach out to me, share with me. I'd love to hear about your story. I'd love to connect with you and hear about your journey, where you're at in your journey, and see if you're ready, if that's something that you feel would be a welcome thing in your life to truly start to take the steps in a holistic way to conquer your chronic pain. So I don't think there's much more for today's live session. The only other thing that I might mention is the, let's just see here. Yeah, that we talked about, like the Band-Aid fix. So if you are on, chemical meds, that to really think about that. Think about, are they truly improving your chronic pain? Are they masking your chronic pain? Is it a possibility that it could be more of a Band-Aid? Or are you truly feeling like you are getting healthier, you're getting more whole? And so I don't want to necessarily knock pain meds totally, and there's a time and a place for them. But I do believe that holistic wellness is the way to go. And to truly do that, we need to feed our bodies what they know to process, which is organic substances. So chemical medications can take an effect or a toll on the body. And so to think about, if you're ready to kind of start processing that, letting go of that, and getting back to that place of wholeness. And if you are, remember to click the link for the free web class, join that, and also join the Facebook group. It's going to be a really, I think, supportive community for women over 40. It's called Yoga Therapy for Women, for Healthy Aging Women with Chronic Pain. And they will be able to support each other. I'll be in there with lots of tips and tricks. I'll always be available for you to connect with me, to hear about different ways that you can start healing and processing, addressing your chronic pain in a holistic way. So just to recap for today's live, we talked about emotions and how emotions are energy in motion. So meaning that they have to move through us, that energy is constantly moving. And if we don't let them move through us, they get trapped, can manifest into dis-ease or unrest, discomfort. That we also must address all layers of our being. And so we talk more about that in the masterclass, all the different layers to ourselves, other than just the physical layer. And that we also need to get to that root cause. So what's causing the chronic pain at the root? Do you know? Do you know what the root reason is? I talked a bit about I know where it started when I was 17, and I went through a lot of emotional pain that I didn't process. That was my kind of start of it. And then I continued to have emotional pain throughout my life that I didn't process. And then because of that lack of processing and that lack of turning towards myself and allowing myself the grace and the space and honoring what I needed, I was treating myself poorly. I wasn't giving myself love by allowing that to process. And by me doing that to myself, I was subconsciously reaffirming to myself that I wasn't worthy, that I didn't deserve to heal. And because of that, I started to attract negativity into my life and more pain and more suffering. So the root cause is so important. There is the Band-Aid fixes out there, but are they really working for you? Something to maybe sit with and ask yourself. And are you ready? Are you ready to truly start to climb that mountain, to overcome your chronic pain? One of the things that I hear from a lot of chronic pain sufferers is that they want a linear fix. They just want to get there. They don't want to have to do, the roadmap of the trail that might take them way off course and then they come back. They just want it now. And unfortunately, that's not how it works with chronic pain. It is going to be a journey. It is going to be a trail that you might, fail at and then have to pick yourself back up, grow from it, learn from it, and treat yourself well, and then get back on track with your process. So are you ready? Are you open-minded? Are you willing? And if you're ready right now, go to the link, join the webinar, join the Facebook group, and let's get going. And if you're not, that's okay too. Just continue to question yourself, continue to have awareness, continue to process your journey. And when you're ready, I'm here for you to go on to that journey. And the last thing is sign up for the masterclass if you're ready. Don't forget there's going to be free essential oils coming to you, free pain tips and tricks to use those essential oils. And with the masterclass, you'll learn so many other ways that you can support yourself through your chronic pain journey. So thank you everyone for coming today for this live training. It's my first one and I hope you enjoyed it. I am here. I've got the Facebook group that you can join. It's the link that you can click there. There's also a link for the joining the masterclass, the live webinar on June 7th. Can't wait to maybe see you there or in the group and continue the conversation. So thanks again for showing up. You're showing up for yourself just by even checking in here, and you can see that you're interested in trying to overcome your chronic pain wherever you're at in your journey. So blessings. I will leave you with my closing mantra that I love to repeat to myself as often as I can, and you can join me in the closing mantra if you choose. So I like to take Anjali Mudra, hands together in prayer position. And then you can bring your thumbs to your third eye and take a deep breath. A moment. And just to think about your blessings. Think about all that's good in your life. There's got to be at least one thing you can think about. And then if you'd like to repeat after me, you can say, think kind thoughts. Bring your thumbs to your lips. Speak kind words. And bring your thumbs to your heart. Do kind things. And thank you again so much for your presence here today. Again, join the registration link to come to the web class on June 7th. It's free. It's going to have lots of information about the root cause of your chronic pain and how to address it. As well, join the Facebook group for Healthy Aging Women Over 40. And I hope to continue the conversation with you from here on out. Thanks again.